Meeting. Good evening, everybody. Let's call together or in order the regular meeting of the Seaside Planning Commission for Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. Can you do a roll call for us, please?
Commissioner Danny Nguyen. Commissioner Dave Evans.
Present.
Commissioner Arlington Lamika.
Present.
Commissioner John Owens.
Present. Commissioner
Keith Dodson.
Present.
Chair William Silva.
Present.
We have a quorum.
All right, item number 3 is review of the agenda. This is the point in the meeting when any new items have arisen after the 72-hour posting deadline. At this point in the meeting, there can be a vote to add the item to the agenda. Do we have any items that need to be heard? No, moving on. Public comment. This portion of the meeting is for members of the public wishing to address the commission, but this is for items that are not on tonight's agenda. If you wish to do so, please come forward, state your name, and you can have up to 3 minutes to speak. Seeing nobody here for that, we're going to move on to item number 5, which is the business items. First item of business A is architectural review AR 24-06, Edward Lowe, property owner, and Denise Sanders, applicant, request architectural review approval for a new mural on an existing building facade at 1230 Fremont Boulevard. Staff, it's yours.
Thank you. Can you set it to present? Thank you. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Eric Azriel, assistant planner, and tonight I will be presenting the architectural review for a new mural. This architectural review is for 1230 Fremont Boulevard, and it is required per the Seaside Municipal Code, as we recently amended to clarify that this is the correct process for approving a mural. This painting of a mural would be exempt from CEQA. It does not add any floor area. We are located at this building here. There are 3 buildings on this parcel, 3 tenants. The one to the south is Open Ground Studios. To the east, we have some townhomes and residential, and everything else in the area is commercial. And it is also zoned community commercial. The mural itself will be on a 2,300 square foot facade and made by 2 professional artists, Paul Richmond and Brenda Scatrini Saglio. This will have been partially funded by a flip grant, which also puts some urgency into this matter because it does need to be completed by June 30th of this year. I also will point out that you will see some signs in the photographs and in the plans, but they are not included in this review. This is just for the mural. It is trying to remember the acronym, but effectively it's a program where the city of Seaside will give a grant in order to help a local business upgrade their facade. And depending on the amount, we may give, I believe, up to 75% of the cost. This mural was presented to the Art and History Commission last week on May 14th, They did not give a formal recommendation, but there was a significant positive feedback expressed. And this is the proposed mural titled Unity in Diversity. And we'll see a few shots of this facade to give some comparison about what it looks like today. So moving on to, this is what it looked like a little bit ago, the previous facade, but it is currently painted yellow, much brighter. And then this is the proposal to build and paint this mural on top. I'm going to go through some elevation drawings and the floor plan. Pretty standard. This is fairly straightforward. Please do stop me if there are any questions. The mural will be painted with exterior paint from multiple manufacturers, depending on the colors, and it will be sealed with a sealant that provides UV protection. It actually absorbs the UV. And there are proposed maintenance conditions in the conditions of approval to maintain it looking very nice. But to highlight some other work of our muralists before we get to the conditions of approval, is it possible to hide that bottom? This was in King City. I'll move forward to the next one. This is very local to us. You may recognize it. It is in Sand City. And I'll just go back a second. This one, the previous one. My apologies, my clicker is not working. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we are. This is by both Paul Richmond and Brenda. The one in Sand City was by Paul Richmond and Brian Gage. And then this is another more recent one that was done at Mami Chelas restaurant in Salinas by both Paul and Brenda. And other examples of their work are included in attachment 3. For the conditions of approval, most of these came from a conversation with the applicant about how they were planning to maintain it. And some of them came from looking at our own code about how we treat graffiti, which you will see. So first condition, that it will be washed at minimum of once every 2 years, that the protective clear coat will be reapplied when necessary, that whenever there is damage to the mural, it will be repaired within 60 days. That whenever graffiti is found, it will be remedied within 15 days. Notably, this does not override any of the enforcement conditions that are in Chapter 8.31, which deal far more extensively with graffiti. There are 3 findings. First is that it is categorically exempt from CEQA. Second, that the colors, placement, and size of the mural are visually compatible with the structure's architecture. This mural would cover almost the entire facade. What would remain is the windows and the door with the trim. Those are all very neutral colors that would blend in well with the more vibrant color of the mural. And that the mural will serve to enhance the aesthetics of the city. As you saw previously, this building was fairly nondescript, and it has been improved. And this mural would add an additional element of color and story to the facade. Staff does recommend approval of Architectural Review AR 2406. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Why don't you stay with us for a minute in case any of the commissioners have any questions for staff?
Clear coat that you're talking,
Yes, that's.
the clear coat you're talking about that will allow the wash off of graffiti so that it doesn't actually ruin the artwork.
I am not clear about that. That's probably a better question for the applicant. Our concern is not with how it's repaired, but that it be repaired.
Okay, then let us open the floor to the applicant or applicant representative. We'll give you up to 5 minutes to speak to us and then stick around for any questions we might have before we then open to the public. So please just state your name and then the floor is yours.
Little brochure about what we do. I'm Denise Sanders and I'm the founder, director and artist at Open Ground Studios. I just want to give you a really quick overview of what we do. We are a community art studio that has held space in Seaside for creative adults and professional and emerging artists. We have had a robust education program. We do a lot of different programming to support various events or to have various places where people can come together and find creative expression. So I'm going to read just something here from our website that is about our vision. We believe that art plays a profound role in our human experience. It's our responsibility as a society to invest in and make room for the process and the healing nature of self-expression. OGS plays a supporting role in the pursuit of artistic excellence and creative play by providing opportunities, mentorship, and a nurturing environment. So we've been building community since 2013, and right now it is our 11th anniversary. So we survived COVID and a variety of other obstacles to get to where we are today. And part of the thing that I'm so grateful for is this flip grant that came about at exactly the right time for us to celebrate our 11th year. We had our 10th anniversary last year and we updated our website and we started to reach new groups of people. And so the flip grant has allowed us to, as you can see, repaint our building, which it desperately needed. And we chose yellow as a beacon of light. And it's been highly noted from people who have been by it that they love it. The flip grant also has allowed us to get a new sign, which promotes our new logo and our new brand. And this mural is the final icing on the cake, which is going to be such a spectacular moment in Seaside when you come by it. So we're really excited about it. And to answer your question about the protective coating, it's actually a UV protection, but it helps unify the entire piece. And so it will have sort of a thin acrylic-y finish on it. So hopefully if something, happens to it, eggs are the worst thing to get off the building, but we've not ever had an egg thrown at it. Well, maybe one time. Anyway, but I don't think it's going to be a problem to get things off or to paint over it. Let's see. I would like to invite Paul Richmond up here to say just a couple words about his process, and then if you have any questions.
Hi. I don't have a lot to add. They've pretty much.
So for the microphone, go ahead and state your name. I know she.
Oh,
mentioned it,
okay.
but
Sure. I'm Paul Richmond.
Thank you.
And I moved to Monterey in 2016, joined Open Ground Studios a month after I arrived here. So I'm very excited to be the person that gets to work on this mural because I do understand personally from my own experience what a difference the studio makes for artists in this community. I did not know anyone in this area when I arrived here, and Open Ground has become kind of my hub of creativity. It's where I've met all of my community. So this mural is meant to celebrate that, to celebrate the diversity of the artists there and also the diversity of Seaside in general. So that's all I really have to say. If you have any questions though.
Commissioners, anybody have questions for the applicant?
Just thank you. I thought that was a nice add to what's going on here. I just liked it.
Anybody else?
Yeah, through the chair. I really like that idea because I've been to Philadelphia several times and they have a district where they have a lot of murals on their buildings, which really looks nice. So I think this would really vamp up Seaside.
Through the chair.
Yeah, of course. I'm inviting you all. What is that? Go ahead.
I agree with my other commissioners. I live up on Yosemite by the firehouse. And I like the mural that's there. We walk every day and come down Broadway, and it's just a lot more pleasant on the eye than just a plain old white. So. Kudos.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I mean, who doesn't like art, public art? And so, I mean, I guess ditto, is what I have to say.
Well, we're having a love fest here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna this in time intend to ask any questions we might have of you. I want to make sure that we follow our protocol and allow everybody in the public to come forward, which may or may not happen because there's nobody else here, but we have to do that. And I know there has been a time in the past we got excited about something and then somebody came forward and they really didn't like it and was like, oh. So thank you very much for sharing. You guys can have a seat. And then at this time, we're going to open the public comment to anybody in the audience who would like to speak on this matter. You have up to 3 minutes to do so. Please come forward, state your name. Okay, that's the protocol. Box checked. Nobody's here. We have no further comment. So we'll close the comments. We'll bring this back to the commission and we can finish up our discussion before we entertain any motions.
I'd just like to mention that, yes, I've seen Philadelphia, I've seen Sand City, but I don't think I quite understood public art until I went to a town in France called Lyon. I don't know if you've ever seen the murals there, but it's worth going online and saying Lyon public murals. They've taken like 10-story buildings and made unbelievable things done with it. And you've got a small little building. And I think this is just as dramatic as some of the stuff I saw in Lyon. So thank you for the color. Thank you for the brightness. Thank you for the theme. Thank you for sharing your own self in that mural. I personally, I just think it's fantastic.
Anybody else? I'll just share that my great grandfather was one of Carmel's founding artists. And so I'm not an artist, but I have some rich roots in the artistic past of this region. And so much of it was settled, besides fishing and besides agriculture. But I mean, a big part of our peninsula was settled by artists and it remains to be a really rich heritage today. So I think it's fun to bring it into Seaside. And I don't know that we'll get it all up and down the street, but especially with your use, it makes a lot of sense. So do we have anybody wanting to bring forward a motion?
I'll make a motion. Make a motion that we approve the architectural review AR 24-06. With the rules that the city has put forth as far as keeping it up.
I second.
All right, all in favor, or any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous approval. We do need to state that an appeal shall be submitted in writing within 7 calendar days of the date of this decision. The appeal shall state the pertinent facts and the basis for appeal. Appeals are to be addressed to the council and shall be filed with the city clerk. An appeal shall be accompanied by the required filing fee. That is if somebody wishes to appeal the judgment or the decision of this group. So congratulations and thank you very much for your contribution. And we'll go on to item number 6, which is report from commissioners. Do we have any? Yeah.
For the staff. I noticed a recent remodel on Noche Buena and LaSalle. And it seems to be very, very close to the fence. And I didn't understand that. Because I understand we have to have 3 feet minimum, and it sure doesn't look like that.
Do you have the address of that?
The
Or just the corner?
of,
Okay.
LaSalle and Noche Buena.
If it's the northeast or
It's the lower one. It's the lower. You can't miss it. I mean, it's all freshly framed.
We can look into that and report back.
Yeah, 'cause it's kind of shocked me, the distance
Mhm.
between the fence, and it was like, how did they go through that? And especially if it's gonna be a AD, it doesn't seem to have much clearance for. Okay, that's all I have.
Any other comments, gentlemen? Okay, next is item number 7, reports from staff. Do we have any reports from you other than that we have a meeting next week again?
Just that item, and I would like to check to see who is going to be here next week.
I can be here.
Okay.
Wow. That pretty much narrows us down.
But we'd have to have you and Danny then to make quorum, right?
Mhm.
I know Andrew had called me. Did he talk to anybody else?
No, I have.
Okay. He
Well, see, that's. Yeah, well, see, I don't. I'm sorry.
Well-
I'm a 1955 baby.
I'm
You know,
happy
we didn't have cell phones and we didn't have email. We lasted all day long without anybody connected to us.
I'm happy to share with you afterwards just what he called me about, just he wanted to give me a little bit of a what's up with this and why we're kind of pushing it.
Okay.
So, but I'll just have an individual conversation with him, but I'll be respectful
All right, no, that's fine.
of the,
I'll try to make it. That's all I can say. I will do my best to make it.
what's our act that we have to.
In 20 years, I think I've not missed many.
No.
Thank you. We'll
Anything
follow
else,
up
Eric?
with Commissioner Wynn and Commissioner Owens.
Sorry, what is the? What's the agenda? Do you usually have it?
This item is, it would have been posted, yes. So this item is for a rezone of the corner of Del Monte and LaSalle. It used to be Power Sports. They went out of business. And someone is proposing to put an Ace Hardware in the store in that location.
But they have a time sensitive escrow on this, and in order, they're not gonna go forward with the purchase unless they know that they can have this use there, so that they're
I
trying
am
to.
all for a hardware store in our city.
Since Osh closed down, it would be awful nice, so.
Yes, very much so.
And what Andrew explained, and we're gonna get a full staff report and everything, but what Andrew explained is that that particular corner is commercial automotive. But everything else on that block or whatever is regular commercial, so we just need to make that happen, but it has to go from us up to the council, and it has to happen before their due diligence and their escrow closing time period. So that's why they're trying to help this happen because it's a good use for our.
You think about it, I was here when that was South Shore folks. Was there? And,
Was that in the 50s?
hey, easy now, buddy.
So we'll get the whole scoop next week, but hopefully we have enough people to make that happen. I know they couldn't join it to this meeting because he didn't have enough time to notice it, but that's where we're at.
So
Okay.
we're at 6 now, so.
We have to four.
So the thing is, I didn't know about it and I previously canceled the meeting, I rescheduled today. And be very honest with you.
I hear you. My son's coming in at 12 midnight the day before. I'm picking him up at the airport. But I'll try my best to make this.
Thank you.
Please let us know.
Yes, I'm sure we will follow up. Okay. Mhm.
I know that Dan,
Mhm.
maybe it's in my,
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, well then let's go. Do we have a motion to adjourn, gentlemen?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so used
Old
to that.
habits?
I don't-
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Unanimously, we have adjourned.
Go chat.